So recognize rage, envision envy, but there's the opposite. Sense suspicion. If I think that someone is envious of me, I will be suspicious about them. I will be suspicious that they will want to take my resource, residence, or relationship to level the playing field. And that, I think, is part of what you see a lot, maybe, Mark, and I don't mean to impose on it, in mediation and in the work. When there's anger, is this person trying to rip me off? Right? That person's got more than me. Go ahead. What do you think?
Well, there's a win-lose mentality with a lot of people, right? And mediation, it kind of takes that away. So a lot of people will resist mediation simply because they think there has to be a winner and there has to be a loser.
Mm,
And that's what a litigation attorney will prey on, right? Because we have got to continue to fight until the end, and that's not necessarily the best way. It's
right.
actually it's probably the worst way to solve a dispute, in my
Yeah.
opinion,
Yeah. Why is it the worst way, do you think?
because it's a waste of resources, first of all, for the litigants, right? And my fellow attorneys, I don't apologize for this, but the lawyers are the only ones that really make out well in a litigious situation,
Hmm.
especially in the field of divorce law, because it's not that challenging to terminate a relationship. It's not. The court is set up in a way that it's very systematic. But when people start to create certain elements to the situation and stir the pot, as they say, and drive emotions and create things that don't need to be there in order to win, right? In order to push and pull and push and push and push to break the other person and get them to submit. But yet, the end usually is somewhere near where it would be had you sat down and said, listen, we know what we're trying to do here. Let's figure out how to do it without hating one another. So the resources are lost, the relationships are lost. You it's an emotional roller coaster for the people. Um, I mean, just the thought of sitting at your dinner table and the doorbell ringing, it's the sheriff.
Yeah.
I mean, how unsettling is that? I don't care who you are. Most people are horrifically afraid to go to court, right? I don't know why. Maybe it's because of what they see on TV or what in the movies or what have you. But that fear just escalates to a point of um, they're out of control.
Right.
And if you could avoid that, wouldn't you opt to avoid that? I think unless you really want to see somebody squirm, which there are people that are like that, and mediation won't work, unfortunately, because there are that's their IF. Some people want to see other people squirm. I get uncomfortable when I see other people squirming. Like I always want to help them out of the situation that they're in. If it's a heavily leveraged situation. But you talk about the resources part of it. The envy, right? And you see the billionaires are a huge target right now, right? Do they have too much?
Hmm.
Sure, they earned it ish, right? I mean, it's what was that, Tom? Was that a flying quotation mark?
There was a moth.
Oh, got it. But there's a lot of resentment toward them right now. A lot of people are very angry with billionaires right now.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
know, is it fair? I don't know. Depending on how they made their billions, I think it could be justified. Right, the whole thing we dealt with a couple of weeks ago with GameStop.
Right.
and how that was all handled, which by the way, I can't believe that story is gone away so
Mm,
quickly and so easily.
yeah. Isn't it
And
interesting?
and go ahead.
No, I'd say it's interesting, right?
Well, it is interesting until you realize who owns all of the newspapers and the media, right?
And some people are angry about that too. They want that to change.
Well, they're controlling a message,
Yeah.
right?
Envy and suspicion. You recognize rage, and then what do I want to see different? Am I envious of someone that they have more than me? Or am I suspicious that they want to take something from me? But the thing is, if you're doing it, everyone's doing it. These are the first three steps. And what they do is how to manage your own anger. Okay, I'm going to recognize my anger. Remember, anger is limbic, it's sometimes irrational, but recognition is prefrontal. The prefrontal cortex, the ability to think things through, solve problems, execute a plan, anticipate what will happen next. So, as soon as you recognize you're anxious, you are shifting your brain from the limbic system to the prefrontal cortex. This is part of the way our brains are designed. This is the neurology of our brain. It's the coolest thing. And what I'm saying is, if you're doing it, everyone's doing it. So, think about this. If anger is an emotion designed to change things, it's not always your anger that gets in the way of your success. Very often, it's somebody else's anger that gets in the way of your success. So, the next four steps that we're going to go through is how to manage somebody else's anger.
Stretch the canvas, rush with madness. Is it sadness or just a show that